Hi everyone, and welcome to the prayer room at Dunwoody UMC. I am Tamron Freund with the Children's Ministry, and we are talking about the Lord's Prayer during this series. So I have invited Pastor Kathy to come and join us for one of our questions from the box. So we have a box of questions here that we have asked about the Lord's Prayer, and yours is a good starter. What is the Lord's Prayer?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. So, the Lord's Prayer we find in the Bible. Did you know that?
I had heard this.
You'd heard that before? So I have a great story. You can find it 2 places in the Bible. So in the Gospels, and we know what the Gospels are, right? Those are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And the first place that it actually appears is in Matthew. But I like the story in Luke because it talks about Jesus going off to pray. And we find Jesus going off to pray a lot in the Gospels, right? He goes off to talk to God. And so then his disciples come to him and say, they notice that he's praying a lot, and they say, Lord, teach us how to pray. And so then Jesus starts by telling them, and I'm going to read to you, I'm going to read it, okay, out of the Bible. This is the Bible, my friends. This is in Luke 11. I'm starting with the first verse here. It says, he, and they're talking about Jesus, was praying in a certain place, and after he had finished, one of his disciples said to him, Lord, teach us to pray, as John taught his disciples. And Jesus said to them, when you pray, say, Father, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come. Give us each day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, for we ourselves forgive everyone indebted to us. And do not bring us to the time of trial. So that's the short version that's in Luke's gospel. But then if we were to flip over to the 6th chapter of Matthew, we're going to find one that's a little bit longer. And it's the one that we know. It's the one that we've heard. So it'll sound a little bit more familiar to you. So let me find that one. And the context around this one is a little bit different. Jesus is talking to his disciples and others about acting, how they should act. And so, not acting like in a play, but how they should act around their friends and around other people. And so he says, talking about prayer, he says, pray then in this way. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts. We say trespasses, but he says debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And do not bring us to the time of trial, but rescue us from the evil one. So the Lord's Prayer is the prayer that Jesus taught his followers. And prayer, if we haven't talked about what prayer is yet, most people probably know that that's when you talk to God. That's when you sit down and you thank God for all the many blessings that you have. And then you tell God what's on your heart. Whether it's somebody you're worried about, or something that you're worried about, or something that you're excited about that you want to go well, whatever it is, it's time to talk to God. And this is the way that Jesus taught his disciples and his followers to start. So if it's helpful to know, this is the way I start my prayer time. Every time I pray, I start with the Lord's Prayer, and then I go from there. So it's really an excellent prayer to learn from heart so that you can always have it whenever you need it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a lot of, I didn't remember that there were 2 different versions of it, the speedy version and the longer version.
Speedy version. I like it put that way, yes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being
so
here
welcome.
with us today. And thank you all for joining us here today. We will see you another week as we dig in deeper with another pastor on the Lord's Prayer. Bye.
Bye.